Hello there, Sully here, the retired tanker yanker. Welcome to Transitions. Remember, hit that subscribe button and like and share this video, and be sure to drop a comment. Well, this is my second video on the topic of COPPA or COPA, however you want to pronounce it. I've been watching some videos, and you know what? People are just downright scared. I'm scared. Because it seems to me that the language in the law is a little vague when it's talking about entertainment which might be geared towards children. Now, I went on the FTC's website, and I'm reading from this directly. I mean, I've already talked about the rules that the FTC will consider in determining whether your content is child-directed. You know, the subject matter, visual content, whether there's actors and all. But the FTC is saying that the determination of whether content is child-directed will be clearer in some contexts than in others. But we can share some of the general rules of thumb. That's what they're saying. I suggest that you go to the FTC's website and read this article called YouTube Channel Owners Is Your Content Directed Towards Children? But how do you determine if your YouTube videos are directed towards children? I mean, what they're saying is that if it, just because something might be appealing to children, might not necessarily be so, because there are certain things which are geared to adults. I think they put some specific parameters in there that said that if your videos are about traditionally adult activities like employment, finances, politics, home ownerships, home improvement, or travel, you're probably not covered unless your content is geared towards kids. The same would be true for videos aimed at high school or college students. On the other hand, if your content includes traditional children's pastimes or activities, it may be child-directed. And it says the FTC determined that an online dress-up game was child-directed. Now, they said that just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean you're automatically covered by COPA. And any animated shows are directed to kids. The FTC recognizes there can be animated program that appeals to everyone. And basically what the FTC is looking for is they're going to look at the About section in your, either in your video description or your channel description. I realize that I put videos about my career in trucking, and I have made a series of videos, and I'm going to continue to make a series of videos which are specifically aimed at people wanting to consider a career in trucking, about the pitfalls and other things that I've experienced in my 25 years as a professional driver. But I had a thought here. The thing is, you cannot establish a Google account if you are under the age of 13. But we know that there's lots of kids that watch YouTube under the age of 13. Their parents establish the account for the children. So what I'm saying is, if the parents are establishing an account for their children, that should imply the consent that okay, you cannot collect this information without my consent. The purpose of the rule was to stop online predators. But now what they're saying is advertising geared towards children. People have to be a bit more responsible about that. Okay, I get that. I've said this before and I'll say it again. My channel is not monetized. I hope to have it monetized someday. But it is what it is. I'm on a fixed income. I'm on Social Security. I'm currently not making any money off of this. I'd like to be making money off of it. But, that's still down the road for me. So I guess what I'm saying here is the chaos grenade will happen when we reach a point that some arbitrary person, some person is just going to be making the decisions totally arbitrarily. Some government bureaucrat is going to be making these decisions. And quite frankly, that's what scares me. That's the chaos grenade that I'm talking about. So, I'm not a lawyer. I do have access to free legal counsel because as a senior citizen, there is a senior law center here in my hometown of Philadelphia, and I have had to use them. So I'm kind of hoping that if something comes up, they'll help me out. But I have yet to contact them, and I probably will. But I'm just worried that some bureaucrat is going to decide, well, kids like trucks, therefore kids are watching this. Nobody's really watching my videos yet, and you know, as much as I want people to watch my videos and I want people to subscribe to my channel, I do want it to be within the law. I don't want kids under the age of 13 subscribing to my channel, period. And I'm saying so right now. And I'm going to make sure my channel description specifically contains the content of my video is intended for a mature audience. So there it is. It's only the 22nd of November, so December 31st, the last day that we'll be able to breathe easy maybe as creators. But when January 1st rolls around, the chaos grenade could go off. Remains to be seen. Anyway, thanks for viewing. For Transitions, this is Sully, the retired tanker yanker. Safe and happy travels.